for dinner.
It's gonna be the record for
Could
the
have been
shortest
20
meeting.
below, but we still have
I
high
don't
school.
know.
7 minutes. 7 minutes.
We could just do an omnibus
That's pretty
vote on
short.
everything.
That's pretty short.
Yeah,
I was
we
gonna
will
say,
definitely
30
not
seconds.
do that. Thanks, man. Let's get it all back.
You ready? I call this meeting of the Olney City Council, January 26th, 2026 to order. Please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing as the Reverend Steve Wiener says our opening prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God in heaven, we thank you for this day. We pray, first we thank you for all of the city workers and employees who have been putting in hours upon hours. We pray for those who are getting called out tonight. Pray that you would just make their work go quickly. And God, we thank you for your presence here tonight. Pray that you'll grant wisdom and guidance in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you very much. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Miller,
Present.
Councilman Fehrenbacher,
Here.
Councilwoman Eichhorst,
Present.
Councilman Iyer,
Present.
Mayor Lambert.
Here. Are there any public comments or presentations? Any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to presentation of the consent agenda, which includes to approve minutes of the council meeting on January the 12th, 2026, and to approve and authorize payments of accounts payable January 27th, 2026. Any of these items need to be removed from the consent agenda? I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, discussion and possible action, code violation at 701 North Silver Street. Mr. Fehrenbacher?
A recent development took place in this case where there was an ordinance violation, and I just wanted to bring this back up, not to ruffle feathers or to single anybody out or any property owner, but since this involves a city official, I feel like it would be better, since I've received calls on it, to just get it out there and address it with the public, to give them an update and try to do this in a fair way that's forward-thinking and beneficial to all the neighbors and the property owner himself. And I thought I'd do it in three different fashions. One, just recap what citation there was. Do we need to do anything with the ordinance any further? And if there's a future vision, like a rezone possible, I'd like to have that discussion as well. And I would like to ask, if you're able to, Mr. Attorney, could you just recap what was the citation and why did the court case turn out the way it did?
Okay, so I was not at the court case. I did not, due to the fact that there is a council member who was the alleged violator, I did not think it was appropriate that the city attorney be the quote-unquote prosecutor for that. I asked Mr. James Lane, who is, his office is in Crawford County. He has 50 years of experience as an attorney. He's been a prosecutor and a defense attorney, very capable, reasonable person. He agreed to do it. The city ordinance violation ticket was written for 8.28.010, which, and then the word weeds was written on the ticket as well, which is basically the title of that is weeds declared a nuisance. Any weeds such as Jimson, burdock, ragweed, thistle, cocklebur, or other weeds of a like kind, or other noxious or dangerous weeds found growing in any lot or tract of land in the city are declared to be a nuisance. It is unlawful to permit any such weeds to grow or remain in any such place. My understanding, and Mr. Iyer can correct me if I'm wrong, is that the judge, rightfully focused focused on what the accusation was, which was weeds. Mr. Caldwell did not specifically know of any types of weeds that were growing there. So I think the judge explained, look, this is probably more appropriately written as a height restriction violation. Since he cannot under oath testify as to the weeds situation, I cannot find this person is in violation. My understanding is that Mr. Lane and Mr. Iyer then met and reached an agreement as to what was to happen within the 30 days after that. If Mr. Iyer wants to relay that agreement, great, but if I'm not gonna relay it on his behalf, that's pretty much the summary.
So that, the reason it was dismissed was over the difference in the definition of weeds, or was it just that the height restriction, which was the focus, was not exceeded?
Well, the ordinance violation was written as a weeds ticket. With that particular section names off some weeds and then has the like kind or any other noxious or dangerous weeds as kind of a catch-all. My understanding is Mr. Caldwell could not specifically name any specific weeds, and therefore the judge said, look, this is probably should have been written as a height restriction, because the height restriction includes not only weeds, but also grass and plants. So, yeah.
So the citation was not specific enough to cite specific plants or weeds that were growing in there, so the property owner did not breach that, and the discussion really should just center around height requirement going forward.
In a nutshell, yes.
Okay, all right. So, this leads me to my second part. Should we revisit the ordinance itself for height requirement, or I suppose definitions of weeds itself? What does anybody think? Don't have any opinions?
It's my understanding that the height has been taken care of. As soon as that day that ruling was made in our court, is that, to the best of your knowledge, is that true, Mr. Bradley, that those weeds were cut and taken care of?
That is my understanding, or that's what I've been told.
So there is no longer a violation in any of our ordinances as such. I think that from what we have learned through this entire process is that it gets fairly difficult to make a weed ordinance that is all encompassing of all types of weeds that you might not want to have grown in a place. And that there could be varying definitions of weeds. I know that there is a noxious weed list in the state of Illinois. I'm not certain that any of those were present on that property at the time, so I don't know that that would have been a good measure of things that we could do.
What is our current height restriction?
12 inches.
12 inches. That's, to me, that seems a little high. Does anybody else think that's a little high?
I'm okay with the municipal code as it addresses weeds as written.
Further discussion on this matter?
I guess just one last comment is, I know this has been a very contentious issue because it has involved a public official, and I understand the frustrations of the public that have lived around it, but I do want to reiterate this to them, is I know the character of Mr. Iyer and his goals and his intention is to beautify that property, and I'm not happy with some individuals who have come there and have vandalized that property. That is absolutely wrong. We should not have that in this town. And I just, if the plan commission would ever look at this again, I want to strongly consider that the intention of this property owner is to make that building better, but he would need income generated in it. So if the property owner would ever resubmit the application, I think it would be a good time to revisit rezoning that so that we could get that building moving forward to make it look nicer. Otherwise, it's going to sit there for the next 30 years until there's a big enough hole in it that the city will have to tear it down. And I don't want that. So that's all I have to say.
Anything further? Anything further? Moving on. Next item on the agenda, ordinance to amend Title 13 Public Service of the City of Olney Municipal Code. Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
These updates are a housekeeping item for us. The first proposed amendment is due to the fact that the Water Distribution Department takes their last work orders for the day at 2:30 p.m. in order to complete the task and put away their equipment by the end of the day at 3 p.m. to avoid overtime. So that's just changing that from 3:30 to 2:30 on that one. And the next proposed amendment to give customers with return payments 7 days to settle their account before disconnection for non-payment. Once notice is received of the return payment, it is not possible or realistic for our utility billing clerk to issue notice and have it remediated by the customer within 24 hours. Rather, she issues out a notice in the mail that gives the customer the 7-day time frame. The language in these proposed amendments button up these issues.
Questions, comments? Questions, comments, or motion?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is discussion of the JED's budget. Mr. Bradley.
This is just an update. We received the budget from the JEDs earlier this month. And we just wanted the council to be aware that there's an increase of $3,517.15 per month on that. And that's going to be due to pay raises, overtime, and that radio change that everybody, I think, is familiar with. So that's just information.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments on JED's? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is resolution to transfer money from Tourism Fund and Christmas Light Fund to the General Corporate Fund. Mr. Bradley.
As included in the 2025-26 budget, City Treasurer Gwen is recommending a transfer of $10,000 from the Tourism Fund and a transfer of $5,000 from the Christmas Light Display Fund to the General Fund to reimburse the General Fund for time spent by employees on tourism-related and Christmas light display-related tasks. A resolution authorizing these reimbursement transfers has been prepared for your consideration.
Questions, comments, or motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Further discussion, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance to authorize the sale of items of personal property owned by the city of Olney, riding mowers from the Parks Department. Mr. Bradley.
Included in your packets is a proposed ordinance that would authorize the sale of 2 riding lawnmowers from the Park Department and a recommendation memo from Park Department working foreman Jeremy Thomas. Both of these mowers have experienced engine failures and are no longer operational. The 2018 Husqvarna is proposed to be sold by auction on govdeals.com, and the 2019 Husqvarna has already been parted out, so it is proposed to be sold for scrap. So we've parted that out and we have the parts. The parts are worth more than the actual mower, so that one had parts that we could use, the other one does not have parts that we can use, so that's why it's recommended that way.
Questions, comments, or a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to accept quote for repair of a boiler at the sewer plant and waive formal bidding procedures. Mr. Bradley.
The boiler at the sewer plant has gone down, needs repaired. A resolution and memo from Sewer Department Supervisor Jeff Lathrop are included in your packet. due to the niche market on this type of work, formal bidding is recommended to be waived. So right now, we're in possession of a quote from Cleaver Brooks in the amount of $20,800 for this valve. It is a special valve for this boiler at the sewer plant. So that is to purchase the valve and all the labor to install it. So it has a 1-year warranty. And the problem with the previous valve is they're having issues with it corroding on the inside and failing. So this is a valve that is supposed to prevent that from happening. It's one built in a way that should not corrode on the inside, so it should be a good fix for a long time. I understand that it's expensive, but that's just what it is. So we recommend accepting the quote from Cleaver Brooks and waiving formal bid procedures on that.
Questions, comments, or a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to establish a purchase request requirement for certain purchases. Mr. Bradley?
At the budget work session held on January 22nd, the general consensus was that there was interest in changing the dollar amount on the purchase request requirement. That this is a request that the supervisors submit for request $500 or more. We want to change that from $500 to $1,500, included in your packet is a proposed resolution that would make that change.
Questions, comments, or a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, reports from elected and appointed officials. Status report. Mr. Bradley.
I have a few things here. As you all know, the water plant has a project coming up to replace all the carbon in their filters. That's going to be done this fiscal year. I've heard that they've been having a problem getting the material, but it should be on time to do that this fiscal year. The UV system at the sewer department has been fixed. That's been down for quite some time, so we finally got a contractor in there and that's fixed, so that's a good thing, especially coming into the summer months, hopefully in the future. The lights at the tennis courts are supposed to be here this week. That's changing all of those to LED, so we're finally getting those, so that will be done this fiscal year. That will be done by a contractor, so that's moving forward. Work is scheduled to start on East Street Bridge and also to continue on Elliott Street Bridge, so that's good news. That's supposed to start toward the end of March, so that's good news for us. And the last thing I have, the street, water distribution, sewer, and park departments were all involved in clearing the streets this weekend, and they did a great job.
Yes, they did.
And they worked from basically, they had 2 crews, basically from 10 PM on Saturday all the way to 11 PM on Sunday. I thought they did a fantastic job. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. Any questions or comments for the city manager?
Do we have all the material in for the Eastgate subdivision?
Yes.
Do we have that?
As soon as weather permits, that will be done. And also, something else that's on the radar is the ADA over there at North Side. Is that right? Is that what that's called, North Side? That new one over there, the subdivision, they have to do that as well. But that's going to be done when weather allows as well.
Further questions or comments? Further questions or comments? RCDC report? Nothing there. Chamber of Commerce report?
Chocolate tour is coming up, and we're very excited. The new bags, very colorful. You'll be able to see us walking around town with these. It's going to be on a Saturday. We're trying that because several people said they couldn't get off of work on Fridays to attend, so we're going to see how it goes. And also, it's time for the dues drive for the Chamber of Commerce.
Anything further from council? I would also like to thank all of our street department. They did a really good job, and all the other departments that pitched in. If you see anybody out and about that you know works for any of those departments, you might tell them thank you for spending long hours pushing snow. And also think about our water department, who's out working a water main break right at this hour, so.
Oh my.
So keep all those people in your thoughts and prayers and just give them a thanks next time you see them. Anything further? I would accept a motion to enter into closed session to discuss the sale or lease price of real property, acquisition of real property, appointment, employment compensation, and performance of specific employees, and collective negotiation matters. Is there